your boy Tony G and Big Lou, the Sportsbook, every Tuesday night on KHAM Radio. Lots to talk about, short time to do it, and man, the Preakness was a heck of a race. If you guys didn't tune in, lots of money to be made. So we bet across. We bet really all three. Seize the Gray, Mystic Dan, and Catching Freedom Payout. That was three horses that we bet on equal across the board, but because Seize the Gray paid out, it paid $21.60 per $2. We actually made money on the deal. It was a really good race. It paid $21.60. Mystic Dan paid $8.40. These are all on $2 bets. And Catching Freedom paid $3.20 to show. Good race. We got the Belmont coming up in 2 weeks. Mystic Dan, they managed to keep Mystic Dan out for having a chance of running doing the Triple Crown. But again, it was a good race. Some money to be made. I think the trifecta paid. So pay out by wager. Let me see. Trifecta paid $183.70 on a dollar bet, which is pretty good.
Wow, that's pretty good.
Yeah, it's not bad at all. But like I said, it was a good race. A lot of great. It's the horse racing season, so we'll be talking about that more. Going into it, 4 teams left.
4 teams left.
So tell me about Indiana and we'll get to the Indiana and the Celtics. We'll break down that series, but how about them beating New York? I was pretty impressed.
I was impressed, and like we said last week, it was going to take a whole team effort. I gotta admit, New York was hyped. They were hyped, but and I'm gonna be honest, Tony, I didn't think that the way Indiana played was going to work. The red gun, but when that entire offense is clicking, and when the bench can produce the numbers that they can produce, it makes it easy. So all the starters have to do is get the lead, and that bench, when they're on, they're going to maintain that lead. I didn't think that their bench was going to do it on the road, but they showed up and they got the victory. And kudos to New York. Them getting back in the playoffs, that's good for basketball. And it's just up. There's no way to go but up from here. So the New York should be satisfied with where their team are, based on based on what they've been going through for the last decade, or 20 years. So
at least 20 years. I was surprised too that Indiana pulled it out, but they did. It was game 7. And then I was surprised that they pulled it out.
Yeah.
And then I also was surprised at. Let me pull up. Maybe I want to make sure I'm on 100 on when I speak. All right, so let's go. Boom, 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 boom. All right, I want to. Oh, they're gonna. I was surprised at the margin of victory.
Yes.
That's basically where I'm going.
They put the foot on the gas. They never let off throughout the whole game. It's on the road. Tough to play with a lead like that in New York City. I was very shocked, and I'm very, very impressed and very humbled, because I didn't think that style of basketball that they played was gonna serve them on the road, and it absolutely did. And they came out with the victory, and now they're headed to the Eastern Conference Finals against Boston.
All right, and so now obviously Boston closed out their series.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to pull up here. All right, so first game is at Boston. The Indiana Pacers are -10. The money line is -480, which is hard to make any money at -480.
Right.
Do you give Indiana a real shot of maybe pulling this out?
Uh, well, I went against them. I went against them during the last series, but that didn't do me well. But they're up against supposedly a more talented team, but Boston does have shooting droughts in their
Yeah,
series. You know, they're known for letting people hang around and sometimes for giving away, series. So I do believe that they could give them a 7 game series. I do believe they can give Boston a 7 game series because of the bench play. And and I think they're up for the task. Now, this first game, now, one thing we're going to have to see is did this series with New York fatigue them for this first game with the Celtics?
right.
Now, if it's a blowout, then we know they were gassed for the last series. They got to get their legs back under it. But
Right.
we'll wait and see uh how this game goes. If they keep it close, then yes, it's going 7. But and if they get blown out, then it's because they was gassed from the last series because they don't get that much rest. Because I know, from Sunday to now, I know Sunday and Monday they rest. I mean, Monday they rest. No practice, no nothing. Just try to, just sleep.
Yeah,
Get your body back, get your energy back.
heal up. So who is anybody coming back for the Celtics on the injured reserve? What's going to happen? I mean, because some people think that without the big man, the Celtics can't win the championship.
Right. I think that it's Danny White. He's gonna have to pick up where if Porzingis does not show up, he's gonna have to pick the slack up, and he's proven that he can. Given the opportunity, he's proven that he can. You know, um, pick up the slack for those guys, but it's gonna be up to him. I have to check on the injury report and see what is he going to play or not. But
Well,
if
I got a couple different reports. Maybe could maybe sit him out for. My thing is if you can get past this without him, they're saying that they don't think they can win the championship without him. I say you play. You see how you do the first 2 or 3 games. If you don't need him and you have him, I'd let him heal.
yeah, let him heal. You bring him back only at the last, depending on how these games play out. Bring him back. Bring him back at home where it's comfortable. I wouldn't bring him back on the road. I bring him back at home where he's comfortable, and the fouls will probably go his way a little bit if he's able to play. I see they got him. They got him ruled out. They
Yes,
got him
for the
ruled out
first
for the right for the
for the,
first game,
first one. Yeah.
and Xavier Tillman is a game time decision. But without Porzingis, it's going to be tough for them. But I do think that the other guys will step it up and pull that victory out, especially this first game, because I'm pretty sure that Indiana they had more rest, so it might be even kill. More rest sometimes means rust. Get a little rusty when you have a lot of time off, but we'll see. We'll see here in a few. We'll see in a few how this is going
Uh,
to pan out.
so they got Boston at -10, which is a
Hmm.
lot of points.
Yes.
And what I've seen in the past is I've seen where they'll be up 7, or just it happens in gambling. So my suggestion would be it's -10 at 115. My suggestion would be to tease it, maybe take Boston at -6, which would put you at 194. Like I said, you can change the odds. Now you're giving up some money. There's no doubt, but you're trying to get in your advantage. A win's a win. Um,
Right.
Now I like Boston in the first game,
Me too.
and but it's with Indiana. You can't write them off.
No.
I think this series goes 6 games. I think Indiana will capitalize if the Celtics do it. If they hit one of their lows, like you're talking about, which happens,
Hmm.
they'll pull two out. You know what I mean? And I
Right.
don't think at any time Boston will be in fear of losing. Like I see Boston going up 2-0, Indiana winning one, Boston
Hmm.
going up 3-1, Indiana winning one, and Boston closing out.
Right.
I'm
Absolutely.
sure
As
Boston.
long as
Yeah, good.
I was about to say, as long as Boston doesn't have that hiccup game, I think they can. I think they can close it out at six. But if Boston has a hiccup game and give Indiana any type of avenue, then it's going to go seven.
Yes. Um, and I think Boston wants to end it as quick as possible. Keep that
Absolutely.
rest going. I mean, I can't be mad at them about that. Um, okay, let me go back to this. Jeez, I messed that up. All right. How surprised are you to have the Dallas Mavericks um, in the semi in the let me see, basketball
Yeah, in the
NBA
Western Conference Finals. Yeah.
Western Conference Finals? I mean, I'm a little surprised. I didn't really. I mean, I know they could play. I mean,
Hmm.
they weren't top. I didn't put them in my top five.
Right.
Minnesota. How about Minnesota finishing out Denver? I mean, what's your
Wow.
thoughts on that?
Wow. And and it seemed and they wouldn't let their foot off the gas. It would, they get a big lead, Denver close it, and then they'll just pick it right back up. Um, the youth, the youth and the will, and even though uh Anthony Edwards or Ant-Man, even though he didn't have a spectacular game, it was his presence on the court, and he's the fuel for that team. And we also said that uh Cat had to show up, and Rudy as well. And look, if y'all see me fanning y'all, I got a fly friend that's flying around my light. So if you see me flailing my arms, I'm trying to get the fly out the show because he didn't bring any material for us in the show today.
I like it. So the Timberwolves beat the Nuggets, came back from a deficit, beat them by 8.
Hmm.
Um, the Timberwolves. What's your thoughts? I mean, you know how media does. I mean, is the window of opportunity closing on the Nuggets? I mean, you win one championship, and if you don't win two in a row, I guess it's all over. I don't know, sometimes people just want hot takes.
Right. I don't think so. I just think that Minnesota had more willpower. They had two bigs to work Jokic, throughout that series. And even though Jokic took Gobert in the last game, he made sure that that didn't happen this time around, and they all played excellent. Um, Cat game was on point. It seemed like that whole team, because Anthony Edwards, he had an off game, which is kind of scary because he wasn't the Ant Man that we've been seeing this whole playoffs in that final game, but the will of the team as a whole, got the job done. And this has been the first Western Conference final appearance for this team since the KG Sam Cassell era.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
so
yeah,
that
yeah.
so they're going in the right direction. They're going in the right direction.
Now the Mavs squeaked one out,
Hmm.
117, 116. I thought maybe that the Thunder's level of, I don't even want to use the word maturity, but just wasn't ready. They weren't ready um,
Right, right.
to go to that. And they got a great team, a lot of stuff to look forward to.
Hmm.
So that game, let me pull that up right here. Okay, game one is in Minnesota. Um, Minnesota's already proved they can win on the road. They can win at home. Minnesota's minus 4. Um, I like Dallas. I like what's going on there.
Hmm.
Kyrie, Luca. I like the deal. I just I just have to go with Minnesota. I think, Lou. I don't. I mean, I see this. This is another. If the Mavs beat them, I mean, if the Mavs beat them, they got a shot at winning the title. You know what I mean?
Yes,
They
absolutely.
got they got a But Minnesota plays such a different game than Dallas does.
Hmm.
Um, and I don't know if it lines up well. I know the Celtics for Minnesota. Minnesota lines up good with the Celtics. Um,
Right.
the Mavs, they can beat them. I just don't know if they could. I don't know if they could beat them in a 7 game series. That's my whole thing.
Absolutely.
You gotta win
Right.
the series. I'm not saying they're not going to win a couple games. I'm not saying they're going to get swept. All I'm saying
Right.
is, in the
It's gonna.
Timberwolves.
Yeah.
And what's your thoughts on the Timberwolves Maverick series? I mean, I think Minnesota wins it in either 5 or 6.
Right. Uh, Now, what Minnesota's going to have to do is they're going to have to play through a lot of pick and roll, ball screens, setting up the shot. And what Minnesota can't do is put Anthony Edwards on Kyrie. They're going to have to switch off on Kyrie because it's going to be like it was when he was guarding Jamal Murray in the Denver series. He's going to expend a lot of energy, and that's going to make him. Kyrie is going to get his shot.
Yeah,
Regardless, he can do too much with it. And same for Luca. He can do things, and he makes it look easy. So there's going to be some pick and rolls. There's going to be some switches. I think Jason Kidd is going to come up with a scheme where these guys can switch out and rotate and pass the ball and pick and rolls. He's gonna, use strategy to beat them because they got two big men that really can't do nothing with Cat and Rudy Gobert. I don't. Now I think they can, like you said, they're gonna win some games, especially some home games. They're gonna win some games, but can they slow down or contain what's going on with Cat? Because if he gets to play his game, then he's gonna be good. And you got Rudy underneath, you know, and if they don't have nobody that can, you know, give him
contain him.
some, yeah, contain him and make it hard for him. If it's easy for him, I'm with you. Five, four, maybe six. I'm thinking, I'm thinking six because it's NBA, it's the final.
Yeah,
Western Conference Finals, Eastern Conference Finals. Normally those last 6 or 7 games. Normally it's not a sweep, but if they cannot, switch guys off or contain or get these big guys off their shot, then they're not going to stand a chance. And then they have Anthony Edwards to contend with. So I think the smart thing that Jason Kidd's going to do, he's going to have them guys switching and rotating, try to wear them down, try to fatigue them out. And then when you get fatigued, that's where the cheap fouls come from, you know, and that's where the shot get off because they're chasing these two guys around and they're just setting up their wingmen and their other guys on the team to make easy shots and open shots.
right. So gambling on this series is this has got a little more money. And when I say that is like you can take them heads up. The money
Mhm.
line pays minus 180 for Minnesota. It plays one. This is just you taking the bet, saying that Timberwolves are going to beat them straight up, or the Mavs are going to beat them straight up. So the money
Right.
lines are good on that. On that, you can even tweak the Timberwolves to minus 1.5, which I like at minus 163.
Mhm.
And I'll show you the difference. And people are like, well, the problem with some series is that, especially with the Boston series, some of the games that Boston was playing because of the spreads were so high,
Mhm.
the money lines were like, negative 500, 600, 7, and you can't make any money on you just can't. So
Right.
Boston, so like Boston is minus 480. on the money line. Timberwolves are minus 180. That's a pretty good bet. And like I said, even at minus 1.5, at 165, it almost better to the take the money line. So there is some action. I'm going to be honest with you, Lou. I like the Timberwolves to win it all. I really do, and I Boston's got a hell of a team, but without if Porzingis, if he doesn't come back, I like the Timberwolves.
Yes, and especially if he comes back late in this Eastern Conference Finals, and now you have to get your body ready for the finals. I don't think if Porzingis is not right in this series, or if he doesn't come back to get the basketball, it's just like football when you're out, gotta come back, gotta get hit a little bit, before it's like, okay, my body's right, it's go time. He's got to get out on the court. He's got to get bumped around a little bit. He's got to move around, and he's got to, get his shot back in the spots that he likes to work in. The later he comes back in this series is going to dictate how long the Celtics are going to last in the finals. If Minnesota beats the Mavericks and make it to the final, because they're going to need Porzingis if they play Minnesota. Not so much Dallas because they're not a big team,
right?
Like Minnesota is.
Right.
But if it's Minnesota, he's got to be ready.
Right. The two big men for Minnesota are game changers, and I mean, what was the other night? Who was playing? They basically had 6 guards. Or not 6. They had 5 guards on the. They were mixing it up, playing small ball, and that's fine and everything. But they got 2 big men. When they're clicking, you're gonna have to make some stuff happen. And so before everyone gets too mad, I'm not saying that the Mavs can't win this. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying that they got their work cut out for them. Mm-hmm. That's all that I'm saying. And can it be done? Well, we're going to have to see. We're going to see how things unfold game 1 and game 2. Now, if Dallas splits one, okay, if Dallas can split one in Minnesota, whoa, because when we give you these picks, things can happen. Injury all it takes is one injury. Let one of the bigs go down. All of a sudden, it's a different. So, as it looks right now, different ball game. The way the Mavs play, and the way Minnesota plays, I got to lean towards Minnesota. It's nothing. It just is what it is. Oh, and by the way, the Mavericks are playing, and so are the Dallas Stars are both playing in the semifinals, which is first time that's ever happened.
That's awesome.
Awesome. Yeah, which is really cool. But again, we'll see game 1, game 2. We're going to see some things. Like I said, this could change, and I'm not so. When you're gambling, it's like, hey, this is what I over. It's like business. You got to oversee and go, oh, there was a change. I have to change how we're moving the money around because injuries happen. Things can change. The bigs could. There's a lot of things. Just like with Boston, if Boston has 2 off games, all of a sudden we got a different series. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And you don't know when that's going to happen when you start hearing thunk, and it's like, wow, that's
right. When they can't find the inside of that rim, it's going to be tough on them.
Yeah, it could be. But as we speak right now, I like the Celtics game 1. I like the Timberwolves game 1. Now the over in Boston is 221. I might tweak that a little bit down a little bit, maybe to 114. Look at that. In the Dallas game, they got an under of 206, a little bit more of a defensive game. They're thinking it's going to be a little bit more of a T-Todd back and forth, which is probably usually when they pick those numbers, guys, it's pretty darn close to what there's somebody that's been doing this a long time, making people a lot of money. So Vegas just don't take stabs at stuff. They're there to make money.
Absolutely.
Yep. So it's going to be interesting, and Jason Tatum's going to have to be. He's been playing great, but I'm just saying he's going to have to maintain what he's got going on. But like I said, this should be really two. It should be really two good series. I think we're in for some great basketball, um,
Hmm.
and I think whoever wins, I think we're going to have a heck of a championship. I think we're definitely in for some good basketball, some good sports betting. All right. Well, me and Lou always take a little time out. We want to thank everyone that all the sportsbook army, as Lou always calls them. And remember, go to the web. We have a Facebook page, the Sportsbook KHAM Radio. Look us up, call us, hit us up, put us in the inbox. If you got something, if you got an event that you want us to talk about on the air or mention or whatever, you got a kid, because it's the summer. Summer's coming up. There's a lot of events they have for kids. They got soccer camps, football camps, baseball camps. They got
Right.
whatever. And if you need you need a free plug, give us a call. We'll be happy to put you in on give you a free plug. But like I said, go to our Facebook page, Sportsbook, or KM Radio. Remember, KM Radio, 24 hours a day, great programming. Don't forget to tune in to our girl Jay Party every day, or Monday through Friday, drive time, 3 to 6. She's got a great show, and there's a lot of blues you can use. I mean, like I said, we got 24 hours a day of great programming. And if you need a DJ, hit up KM Radio. They got DJs on the payroll. They tell me so. Whatever you need to do, that's um, that we can make it happen. All right, guys, we got a little time left. Like I said, the picks of the day. Game one, Boston. We like Boston.
Mhm.
We like Minnesota. Game one. Tweak it if you want to. Change the money lines. Change the spread. Or you can't change the money line, but change the spread, which will change your money anyway.
Right.
And then during the week, we'll make some posts after the games, maybe a little bit of what we saw, little 30-cent clips. Always be watching out for our stuff. All right, guys, I want to thank everyone again. And Big Lou, KM Radio, everybody over there at the KM Radio family. We love you guys. All right, every Tuesday night, 8 o'clock, the Sports Book on KM Radio, where we go ham.
Damn.